Yes, let's go to social structure, which we kind of based off of.
In terms of their society,
their dirt.
So in terms of society, their society is drow society, but as we said, they're at the bottom of it. So in a sense, they're not. So drow society, we're not going to get into more than we already have, just because we'll have a whole episode on it. But for now, let's talk about how drows interact with perhaps other drows or other creatures. What does their society look like in that sense?
So drow, they're normally...
I'm sorry, not drow. How do other driders... You called it. We are messing it up. How would other driders talk with other driders or deal with other driders?
They don't really interact with each other. They're like, ew, you disgust... Oh, that's me too. But they also view themselves, they view other driders disgusting. But there's something that's kind of scary, though, which is very rare. You might be some, guard, like a castle for, the High King. And then one night, you see, 8 Driders climbing the walls, working together.
Yeah.
That is scary.
That would be super scary.
Driders can be elite soldiers for drow. Mm. So that's actually kind of... That's one thing that Driders, it's super rare, though. So, it should never happen.
They're solitary in general, just because, they get plopped somewhere, they find a dark crevice, and they stay there. And they just hunt.
Yeah.
But if they were to ever encounter others, they would stick together. I mean, they're people still, right? They have the minds of drow. So if they are so inclined to stick together, they will. There's nothing that's, pushing them out. Maybe you could say they are reminders to each other of how gross each other are.
Ew.
But there is... That's not an official thing. You could say that, but if you wanted Driders to be together, they totally can be together. Because imagine just a Drider saying, hey, you're like me. Let's stick together. Now, there is no, reproducing involved.
Yes, Driders can't have kids, so there can't be baby Driders.
Loth did that on purpose to make sure that they couldn't become their own species. They're specifically punished people. They're not their own people. They're punished. Yeah.
Wait, so what happens if Loth, punishes a baby? Would that baby just be, a little baby Drider forever?
That's a good question.
That would be scary. Just imagine...
The psychology of a Drider, if turned into one as a baby, would be completely separate. Because that's all that baby would have known. So it's I don't hate myself.
But what happens if it was elves live a really long time? Maybe this baby was chilling for 50 years, kind of like Baby Yoda.
Yeah, maybe.
But what happens?
I don't think it's common, but that's an interesting idea.
And there's a baby Drider just...
That might be a good idea for a player character, although what would be the justification to punish a baby?
Well, maybe the baby... Well, maybe, just Loth just hated the baby, which can happen. Maybe the baby. Because there's one god, or goddess, sorry, that's actually a good goddess in the drow. The only one, God, what's her name? It's super long. Illiferis?
What's the point?
Basically, she can bless, drow sometimes, because she's the only good drow god.
Oh, are you sure it's a drow god? Are you sure it's not the elven god?
No, it's a drow goddess, and she kind of broke away from the elf pantheon to help the drow, because they're literally every other god and goddess with Loth is bullying the drow. I'm gonna go help them.
Yeah.
So she might bless some people, but Loth is nah, you're a baby Drider now.
Yeah. Interesting.
So yeah, it's kind of interesting. So Loth takes stuff very personal from other gods.
Okay.
This is your special kid? Not anymore.
Right.
Drider baby.
All right. Well, let's try to stay on track with what topic we're saying. But if you have anything, we can put a pin in it for extra ideas. Okay. They're mostly solitary. They will meet up with other Driders if they find them and perhaps stick together. If you saw Driders coming towards you in the night, that is the most terrifying thing ever.
Rip the guard.
Yeah. And so they also... I guess we can save this for enemies and allies, but a lot of times they'll have giant spiders with them.
Oh yeah,
they're typically accepted by the giant spiders, so at least they got friends there. But
and also you might even say they might be with purple worms or not really with purple worms. Purple worms are ginormous, but they could be with any critter.
All right, then let's move on to enemies and allies, because I'd say we're definitely in the realm of that. So allies, go. So definitely giant spiders.
So giant spiders, really anything that they can tame, I guess.
Well, the thing is, when a creature looks, So Driders can command giant spiders around. I'm pretty sure. Not exactly how they train them, but they can train them.
They kill like the big spider.
The alpha spider.
Not really like the major.
Spiders are really.
Is that what they're called? I don't know.
Maybe. But in terms of other creatures, like they just come across. They don't come across as prey. They come across as a fellow, like just bug, right? Like bugs can live together a lot of times. Not all bugs fight each other, and so if you have giant bugs, Driders can kind of just fit in with them. Which, God, just imagine being a person, but now you fit in with the bugs. Could not imagine that.
The bugs are your homies now.
Yeah.
With the bugs.
Bug life.
Yes!
Wow, that's the best use I've heard.
Bug life.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I mean, another thing is, like, you might think, like, how do they not, like, die from, like, predators? And you're like, well, they are the predator, too.
Right.
The Underdark, except for purple worms, but they have a special way of saying no to purple worms, which we can get into in the purple worm episode. Or
okay.
The episode. But yeah, so their allies is kind of like anything that they like, bug life.
It's gonna be the bug life creatures. Not even drow are really allies with themselves. Like
unless the drow's like telling them what to do. Like in some maybe if they're in a drow war, they're like, hey guys, we got like 16 Driders over here. Like I guess they would be technically allies, but the drow hate them.
Right.
So like they wouldn't fight each other, I guess. Like you can see happen.
Like, in terms of enemies, drow and Driders despise each other.
Right. Yes.
They don't necessarily fight each other. They will make deals. Of course, those deals pretty much will always end in backstabbing. But no, they despise each other. But like you're saying, it is true that they will sometimes work together if like they're fighting the Underdark dwarves.
The Dungir.
Yeah.
Or like Mind Flayers. Mind Flayers are down there.
I think they actually respect Mind Flayers.
Mind Flayers don't respect them. They're like, oh, guys, look, we got some food and Tessa and a kid. Jonathan, you want Timmy? He's right here. So Mind Flayers do not, I mean,
interesting.
They might make deals, but like.
So yeah, okay. So yeah, allies, bug life, enemies, drow, and pretty much, but they despise drow because the drow is the society in which they're ejected from. So that hatred is put on on PCs if you walk in, but it's majorly put on drow because it's like you are literally the people that have
if you're
cast
a
me
drow
out.
Player. Ooh, you're not gonna be with the book.
Oh yeah, if you're playing drow and you find a Drider, you may have some strategies. As a drow, maybe you could somehow use that to your advantage, but you have to deal with the whole fact of like you're one of the people that cast me out. I hate you. You know what I mean?
And the Drider will send his bug homies after you too. All right, so you're gonna get jumped by a bunch of bugs.
Yeah.
Right, and which is a horrible way to die. Like
sounds terrible.
Just, like people-sized ants and spiders. No, thank you.
It's like the King Kong movie, 2005, 2010,
oh god,
2008.
2005.
What was it? 5? 5. Okay.
The Peter Jackson.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Jack Black's in it.
Jack Black's in it. Yeah. Imagine all those bugs, but in the back there's a somewhat hot Drider, but also disgusting at the same time.
Okay, you have a weird history with Driders. I don't want to know it. All right. Anyway. Anything else about enemies and allies?
Enemies, also the outside world. People just don't like you if you're a Drider, Like, not even halflings.
Right. Oh, enemy. You're right. Yeah, I mean, the entire surface world don't like you.
But like, even, like, other animals, like a freaking mole is like, oh my god! Like, what are you? Even animals are
they'll run. Yeah.
Even halflings, hobbits, they don't like you.
Why? Oh, right, because they're so nice.
They're so nice.
Well, yeah, but hobbits don't like evil things. Oh, they like evil things.
They don't know. Oh, well, imagine you're a hobbit and then poof, there's a spider person.
Oh, wait. Also, we're talking about halflings right now.
Halflings and hobbits are the same thing.
Yeah,
in the Lord of the Rings, they called hobbits halflings and some.
But their society is a little different. But anyway, we'll have an episode on that.
But yeah, halflings, even halflings look at Driders and say, "You get out, disgusting monster."
Okay.
Sad.
So surface world doesn't like them.
Really nothing
bugs
but the bug homies.
Can sometimes like them. Drow despised.